In life's journey, some words touch the heart. Those golden words we bring to you.
Have you ever had a conversation where you felt like you were walking through a minefield? You know the feeling. You're trying to give a tiny piece of feedback, or maybe you're just making a casual joke, and suddenly, boom, the atmosphere shifts. The other person shuts down, or maybe they explode in tears, or perhaps they get incredibly defensive. You walk away thinking, what just happened? What did I say? You start replaying the tape in your head. You feel guilty. You feel exhausted. And eventually, you start changing your behavior. You stop being honest. You start walking on eggshells. If this sounds familiar, you are dealing with a highly sensitive person, or perhaps someone with high emotional reactivity. And let me tell you right now, the strategy of just being nicer or avoiding the topic is not a long-term solution. It's a recipe for resentment. Today, we are doing a deep dive. We aren't just going to talk about being patient. We're going to break down the psychology of sensitivity, why their brains react the way they do. And I'm going to give you a complete psychological toolkit, including specific scripts and phrases to handle these interactions without compromising your own boundaries. By the end of this video, you won't just tolerate sensitive people. You'll know exactly how to lead them through a conversation. Let's get into it. First, we have to make a crucial distinction. In psychology, we often lump sensitive people into one bucket, but there are actually two very different things happening here. And if you treat them the same way, you will fire. Type 1 is the biologically highly sensitive person, HSP. This isn't a disorder. It's a trait. About 15 to 20% of the population has a nervous system that processes stimuli more deeply. Their brains actually light up more in the areas associated with empathy and sensory processing. When you say something to an HSP, they don't just hear the words. They hear your tone, they see your micro-expressions, and they feel the vibe of the room. If you are blunt, to them, it feels like you're shouting. Then there is type 2. Hypersensitivity due to insecurity or trauma. This is different. This is the person who takes everything as a personal attack. If you say, the dishes aren't done, they hear, you're a lazy failure and I don't love you. This is a defense mechanism. Their brain is scanning for threats, and unfortunately, you are often identified as the threat. Why does this distinction matter? Because with type 1, the biological HSP, you need to lower the volume of your delivery. With type 2, the defensive person, you need to increase the safety of your delivery. Most of the friction you feel comes from a mismatch in emotional reality. To you, a comment is a 2 out of 10 on the intensity scale. To them, it is an 8 out of 10. You cannot use logic to talk someone out of an 8. You have to address the emotion first, before I give you the tools that work. Let's look at the 3 things you are probably doing right now that are making things worse. I call these the escalation ladders. Mistake number 1, the logic hammer. When a sensitive person gets upset, your instinct is probably to explain why they shouldn't be upset. You say, I didn't mean it that way, or you're overreacting, or look at the facts. Here is the rule of thumb. Logic does not penetrate a flooded nervous system. When someone is triggered, their amygdala, the brain's fear center, has hijacked their prefrontal cortex, the logic center. When you use logic, they don't hear facts. They feel dismissed. They feel like you are calling them crazy. This makes them double down on their emotion to prove to you that their pain is real. Mistake number 2, the fine, whatever withdrawal. You get frustrated, so you shut down. You say, I can't talk to you when you're like this, and you walk away. While taking a break is good, storming off triggers abandonment, fears insensitive people. It confirms their worst fear, that their emotions are too much for you to handle. Mistake number 3, mirroring the chaos. They raise their voice or get teary, so you raise your voice in frustration. Now you have 2 dysregulated nervous systems fighting for survival. Nobody wins. So, if we can't use logic, and we can't walk away, and we can't fight back, what do we do? The single most powerful tool in your arsenal is something called radical validation. Now, pay attention, because people get this wrong. Validation does not mean agreement. I repeat, you do not have to agree with their facts to validate their feelings. Let's look at a scenario. Partner, You embarrassed me in front of our friends. You always interrupt me. You, the logic response. I didn't interrupt you. I just added a detail to the story. You're being dramatic. Result, explosion. Explosion. Now, let's try the validation bridge. Partner, you embarrassed me in front of our friends. You always interrupt me. You, I can see that you're really hurt by what happened. It felt like I was cutting you off, and that felt disrespectful to you, right? Notice what happened there. I didn't say I was wrong. I didn't say I interrupt you. I said it felt like, and I can see you are hurt. When a sensitive person feels heard, their amygdala calms down. Their nervous system sends a signal. Okay, the threat is gone. They get it. Only after they are calm can you introduce your side of the story. But you must build the bridge first. Iriare, tre magic phrases for validation. It makes sense that you'd feel that way, given how much you care about this. I hear you, and I want to understand exactly what upset you. I can see this is really heavy for you right now. Use these. They are fire extinguishers for emotional heat. This next tool is specifically for your own mental health. When dealing with a sensitive or defensive person, you must remember the acronym JADE. Do not. J, justify. A, argue. D, defend. E, explain. When a sensitive person accuses you of something, your ego wants to defend itself. D, isai. You don't care about me. And you launch into a 5-minute speech about all the things you did for them yesterday. That is justifying and explaining. Here is the hard truth. To a triggered person, your explanation sounds like an excuse. It sounds like you are trying to talk them out of their feelings. Instead of jading, switch to curiosity. Instead of saying, I wasn't ignoring you, I was working. Defense, try saying, help me understand what made you feel ignored just now. This shifts the dynamic from me versus you to us. Looking at the problem, it forces them to articulate the issue rather than just throwing emotional grenades at you. Okay, so we know how to but what if you actually need to criticize them? What if they did do something wrong? How do you tell a sensitive person they messed up without causing a meltdown? You need to structure your feedback very carefully. We use the soft startup, or the sandwich method. The sensitive brain is looking for rejection. If you start with, we need to talk, or you did this wrong, they are already in fight or flight mode before you finish the sentence. You need to wrap the criticism in safety. Layer 1, the reassurance. Starts by affirming the relationship. Hey, you know I love how creative you are with these projects. Layer 2, the specific behavior, not the character. Focus on the action, not the person. But when the deadlines get missed, it puts a lot of stress on the rest of the team. Notice, I didn't say you were lazy. I talked about deadlines getting missed. Layer 3, the positive path forward. I know you can crush this if we just set a better schedule. Let's figure that out. By affirming them first, you are essentially saying, you are safe. I am not attacking you. I am just tweaking the process. It feels like extra work, I know. But ask yourself, would you rather spend 30 seconds phrasing it carefully, or 3 hours dealing with the fallout of a blunt comment? Now, we have to talk about the most important part of this video. You. Dealing with sensitive people is draining. If you don't have boundaries, you will burn out. You will become resentful. And eventually, you will become toxic yourself. Sensitive people often have leaky boundaries. Their emotions spill out everywhere, and they expect you to mop them up. This is often called emotional dumping. You need to learn the art of the compassionate no. Let us say, a sensitive friend calls you to complain about the same issue for the 50th time. You are tired. The wrong move listening for 2 hours while getting annoyed, then snapping at them. The right move. The container method. You set a container for the interaction. Hey, I love you and I want to hear about this, but I only have 15 minutes of mental energy right now before I need to decompress. Can we talk for 15 minutes? Or, if they are spiraling and you handle it, I can see you are really upset, and I want to give this the attention it deserves. I'm not in the right headspace to support you properly right now. Can we talk about this after dinner? This is not mean. This ease, honest. You are actually doing them a favor by not pretending to listen when you aren't. Also, remember the not my store mantra. When they are in a hurricane of emotion, visualize yourself in a separate boat. You can throw them a lifeline validation. You can radio for help support, but you do not need to jump into the water and drown with them. Their emotions are theirs to process. You are a witness, not the victim. Before we wrap up, I want to offer a brief. It is very easy to view sensitive people as a burden, but usually, the things that make them difficult are the exact same things that make them wonderful. That deep processing that makes them overreact to a joke. It also makes them incredibly empathetic when you are hurting, but high attention to detail that makes them nag you. It makes them excellent at noticing beauty, art, and nuance that you might miss. That emotional intensity. It means they love deeply, passionately, and loyally. If you are in a relationship or a friendship with a sensitive person, you didn't choose them despite their sensitivity. You probably chose them because of the warmth and depth that comes with it. The goal isn't to fix them or make them tougher. The goal is to create a language where their depth can exist without destroying your peace. Dealing with sensitive people requires a high level of emotional intelligence. It forces you to be a better communicator. It forces you to be more mindful. Let's recap the toolkit. Distinguish. Is it biological sensitivity or defensive insecurity? Validate. Fusta, I can see you are hurt. Reach before using logic. No, Jade. Don't justify, argue, defend, or explain during the heat of the moment. Sandwich feedback. Positive. Behavior. Positive. Boundaries. Set. Time limits. And emotional containers. If you try these this week, I promise you, the dynamic will shift. It won't happen overnight, but the explosions will get smaller and the recovery time will get faster. I want to hear from you in the comments. What is the hardest phrase a sensitive person has said to you? And how did you handle it? Or, if you are the sensitive one, what is the one thing you wish people understood about you? Let's start a discussion down there. If you found this helpful, hit that like button. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more deep dives into human psychology and social dynamics. I'll see you in the next video.
Life is short, but words live long. See you next time with more golden words. Until then, take care and keep smiling.